I'm gonna start looking into that.
Monsters of light. Yeah.
Yeah, the Masters though, then they've never been a physical body. This is one thing. Apparently, the Galactic Council, I think, have never been a physical body. Is that right?
Some of them have.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering why most of them are all men because
Yeah.
they've not been male or female. What's going on there?
That's a good question.
This is what I do with everything. I question it, and I don't,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
neutral manner. There's
Yeah.
there's one female or maybe two. I can't remember now, but and there's the kind of the wording of it all just rings straight through all this science fiction stuff, like um Galactic Council, like
Yeah.
the,
But that's when I came
the
to that.
Federation,
Yes.
Supreme
Yeah.
Intelligence, Prime
And
Directive. I've got them written down here.
yes, and when I came to that part of the Diana's and Tim's book, The
Mm,
Archangel Guide to Ascension, 55 Steps to the Light. Yes,
yeah.
it's what we're talking about. Maybe I should show the book since we've been talking about it quite a bit here. If I can find it. So yeah. So it's this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I came to that part about the galactics, that's when I was like, hey, like I was a bit upset, actually. I was upset with them. Like you were talking about the angels and dragons. I could also,
Yeah.
that's easy for me. And I
You,
was, oh, that's beautiful. I was
yeah.
born in the year of the dragon, so I really connected easily with the dragons. But the galactics, that was much harder. And then it's a lot of it is talking about it like it's like in military terms as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. This is my
Actually, Commander Ashtar is one, but actually
yeah.
I call him Lord Ashtar.
Mm.
I'm not connecting with him in like that military form. But
Yeah.
I think one reason is because we are like these warriors of light. So it's
Yeah.
more. I'm feeling that then we need to have that warrior energy, and it's very much helping us to with courage to dare to stand in our light and to yeah to expand our light and
Yeah.
to stand in our truth.
It runs through from, I mean, you can go on the space stuff from Star Wars, Star Trek, Transformers, all the other ones. They're all very similar, as you say, and then you can run down to the more sort of three-dimensional, real people type stuff. Like Lord of the Rings is a perfect example.
Hmm.
I mean, Tolkien was a. It makes you wonder if the people that are writing all of this are tapping into something, or this reality is connected with all of that. They're all connected through string theory, or whatever.
That's
And
really interesting. It's really hard to
yeah,
get your mind around it.
and we are
Definitely
actually,
feel with some of them that they've been and they're
yeah,
definitely tapping into something.
it's Avengers Assemble on a 5D level.
I wanted to mention a little bit more about like if you're struggling with finding out what your role is, like what's my purpose, what's my mission
Yeah.
here on Earth, because I was really like it doesn't really help to just sit and think about it. you know and usually also we find out at the exact right moment when we're meant to, but to also remember that there are different steps to it, and there will be more than one thing that you're here to do, of course, but to because I think once we start to relearn, because a lot of people have forgotten how to listen to their heart, to hear the voice of their heart, and to feel that they just listen to all the outside stuff, everyone else telling you what's good for you, what to do, and what's
Like your
right and what's
doctor.
not, and so on. But so to really, when we relearn that, and you have to find space and time in your daily life to have those moments when you can focus inwards, and that can be by being in nature. I mean, some people can really go inwards when you have all of the noise and distractions in a room full of people. But usually, if you're at the beginning of this process of relearning it, it's quite good to go where it's more, you're more in silence. And it's not for everyone either to meditate. Like you said, you
Just
find
about to say that, literally. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
But being in nature is very helpful usually, and it's very grounding as well, because a lot of us are quite ungrounded, kind of like floating around a bit, but to ground in and anchor in. And there's a reason why we're here right now, why you are here, each and every one of us in a physical body right now. And we all have our unique purpose and mission here. And it's both like, it's such a blessing to wake up and find out what that is, because it brings so much joy and meaning and purpose to then work with these things once you and work with it. Sometimes it is like to be something. So for like, I am an energy anchor. It's not something I really need to do either, but to really kind of sink into kind of, sometimes I feel like I'm like landing like this, like on like a spaceman, something, docking and grounding in and becoming it, really being it.
That's interesting you say that, because that's sometimes I'm just like, wow, I can just feel that same sort of thing. It's just like you're literally like, boom.
I can hear,
You can do
I can
you can do
hear the
anything.
sound like boom, like
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
Now I
You
land.
can actually, quite often I get that, and you can feel the immense power
Yeah,
that I'm holding. Maybe everyone can do that. I don't know, but it's like, wow.
it's
It's like
cool,
the
isn't it?
whole
Yeah,
universe is in my, which it technically
yeah,
is in my, between my hands or within my body. And it's just, I can feel it now. It's awesome.
yeah. I feel it
Power.
too now that we're
That's
talking
nice.
about it,
That's tangible. Great. I like that.
right? So,
Yeah.
so a point that I have is, usually if you're struggling with like, what's my purpose?
Yeah.
Why am I here? The first thing to do is work with yourself, and and very important part of that is to relearn how to hear that voice, your inner voice, the voice, what your heart is speaking. And for me, my heart really, it heats up physically. And I was a bit scared of that at the beginning. So back in 2017, I was like, do I have a physical problem with my heart? Because it gets so heated, my heart chakra starts boom, and then it gets super hot. But to listen to those signals, to relearn how to do that, and then to take it step by step. And you don't have to know the whole story now. How fun would that be? Even usually, like if you read a book, you don't want to know the end right now. That would ruin it a little bit, right? But of course, you can have this goal and this intention where you're heading, but you don't have to know all of it now. But to really enjoy in the moment,
Yeah.
doing what brings you joy and purpose, and yeah, knowing that you make a difference through it. And that can really be by being like we're saying now, you feeling that you're landing, you're really present, and you're anchoring light into the planet.
Yeah. That's
That's
great, isn't it? Yeah. It's good
yeah,
advice. So I'm in the same situation where I'm thinking, what do I do?
yeah,
I know I've got a job to do, and it's coming up. It's going to be huge, I think. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. But being in the now, the whole Tolle now, surrendering, actually, it's great, because you don't have to do anything. You just do what you feels right as it comes up, and whatever is right will come into your reality at the right time. I mean, I was quite fortunate to have a reading from Pam Gregory a couple of weeks ago, and great what she was saying, really cool. And it's the past is so accurate. I mean, literally months, dates of major issues, and also the future, which I can kind of see quite well anyway. So it's nice to have corroboration of what's going to happen and when. But I'm not going to follow that. I'll look back on it in a few years and think, oh yeah, that was cool. So,
yeah,
and I think that's the same with anyone who's waking up,
yeah,
anyone in general living a life. Just chill out. just
yeah,
just stop.
yeah.
There's a lot of what you think is important, even the same with me right now, isn't at all. And there was a good quote I put on my group, Bogfrog, from Eckhart Tolle, actually, funny enough. It said there's sometimes the greatest place to be is not I can't remember it now, is not needing to know.
Right.
Just being comfortable with not knowing. And
Yes.
that's kind of the best place to be.
Mm.
Which is kind of what I'm trying to do at the moment, and you're doing your thing,
Mm.
leading your light, and you don't know where it's going to go, and that's the whole fun.
No, because
That's the fun of it,
one
isn't it?
thing one thing you said that we might talk about
Yeah,
in this conversation is like my plans for ahead. It's very short period that I have
yeah,
plans for. Like
yeah,
where it's going to lead, I don't know.
yeah,
And that's something that I started talking about, like how amazed I am and how grateful I am, and like how did this happen to me? Like that I do get to work with with Tim and do workshops and reach hundreds of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
When your first meeting, it's because it was going back to money. Actually, you had that as a non-profit organization, didn't you?
yeah,
And that
yeah.
had
When Diana
100
and Tim came to Sweden,
130 odd people turn up, didn't it?
we
So
had the first time, yeah, it was me and two friends that I
yeah,
met at a healing course that we went to. So my two first spiritual friends, we went to Tim's workshop in Finland. The three of us, the only Swedes coming in there, like, hey,
yeah,
we should take Tim to Sweden, talking over the weekend. Like, okay, how can we do it? We can't do it like privately with our own, that's too risky. Like with our as private money like that. We have
yeah,
to. Okay, we can start a non-profit organization, and by
yeah,
the end of the weekend, we'd invited him, and directly went home and started like the process of having, starting that organization.
yeah,
And so then he came twice, but we did have a lot of interest.
yeah,
So we filled those two workshops, and then the third time Diana Cooper came as well, and Rosemary Stevenson. So that was a bigger one. It was amazing to stand there and see all these people. Like how, I mean, we pulled this off. We had no experience previously in like organizing events or anything, but you do, and that's something you will find. We get the support once you take the steps. The universe will support you.
yeah.
It works out, and usually much better than you could ever imagine. Yeah.
I read a book my wife downloaded in my Audible thing called Big Magic. It's quite a kind of popular book. And that's cool. It's all about kind of the synchronicities of ideas, and when you don't work, when you just don't bother with them, or because you're scared or whatever, they disappear. And sometimes they can go to other people. And they'll do an identical plan, which is completely probability is impossible and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's the whole. That's one of the main bases, I think, of this consciousness is being creative and helping other people through love and compassion. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
I'm thinking of synchronicities now as
Yeah,
well when you said that, because usually you'll find, or often I'm finding, and I find it that it's good that I get a confirmation that you're getting some information, like for a workshop, for example, or some project or something,
yeah,
and then you realize you talk to someone else, or you find out someone else is doing something very
yeah,
similar. Usually that is because we are all connected, and we are like that the one heart.
yeah,
That we tap into the same energies that are very strong and relevant right now.
yeah,
So it's not. So I always take that as, because some people get like, they're stealing. That person is stealing that from me, and I want to kind of get that this is mine.
yeah,
I'm feeling more like, wow, that's really confirmation for me that this is the big theme right now, and a lot of us are working with it, and so I think that's really cool.
yeah.
So right now the unity theme is really big. Unity for humanity.
Yeah, we've got a few interesting years coming up. If there is such a thing as linear history, that's another thing. Actually, the Mayans thought time went backwards. So, anyway, that wasn't that long ago. Yeah, so it's going to be great to see you sort of going forward, really, because you've not got a lot of history yourself.
No.
And what have you got coming up in the near future? Because I know you're doing another one with Jackie, aren't you? Is that next year?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
First of all, I'm only doing this 20%, so I still have
yeah,
my other 3D job, and I'm a single mom, and
yeah,
and to just have the possibility to do it, to work with it. But I'm hoping that, or the plan is that it's going to grow, of course, and I'm
yeah,
going to do more and more. But yeah, Tim Wild and I are doing a workshop in Finland, Nordic Winter Ascension workshop in Helsinki in January 20th and 21st. That's going to be super cool, because we do something that has been coming through the Norse. So these Norse masters of light, or gods and goddesses, like, and the world tree, Yggdrasil and Thor and Freya and Odin, and like in their pure ascended form as well. So
yeah.
that's really cool. So we'll be working with those energies. And then he's coming to Sweden again. So these are the in-person things. And then I'm coming back to the UK. Yay, in September.
Sorted.
With and that Jackie's hosting in
Yeah.
Poole.
Oh, and Paul, cool. That sounds
Poole,
good.
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's just been decided.
yeah,
7th and 8th of September. So it's
Yeah.
Wait, that's with Donny Amoris, who, okay, I'll just show, I have them here. So this is one of the scarves, energy scarves. So this is for Yggdrasil, the world tree, that Tim and Donny and I co-created. These, so these like energy tools like crystals. So that's one of the things like, wow, I really, how did that happen that I got to do this? But it's an amazing thing. And we're going to do an additional scarf with the Sami energy. So the Sami, Sami people with the reindeer, like the I was going to say original, but for that were here in the north before the Vikings and everything.
Okay, right. Cool.
So, yeah.
I would like to say I've got a lot to learn, but I'm kind of just observing at the moment.
It's really cool because when you then go and search on the internet or reading books, like what is said about these different
Mm,
like gods, goddesses,
yeah,
or and when you tune in yourself with that, with the
yeah,
energy, it's quite different. So what
yeah,
they're bringing through now, it is at another level.
yeah.
That we're able to connect with them and really moving back to that pure essence of what they stand for. So it's really, really cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, with regards to your job, is there any chance you could go full time in what you're doing now?
For working with my spiritual business,
Yeah,
not now.
yeah,
It's
not just yet.
I'm hoping now that is, when you're, and that's also for anyone listening, you don't have to like work full time with it like as your job to be doing your fulfilling your mission or doing your part, because when like more and more people are waking up, we need it at all parts of society really. But yeah, when you are still, I'm kind of, I don't want to say stuck, but part of the 3D system, and as a single mom with a mortgage and everything, to have that security of
Yeah,
my own job as well, it's very, very good. Fortunate to be able to, because it is a full-time
yeah.
job, but I have a very understanding and good boss who lets me take like part-time leave from that to work
What do you
with,
do?
definitely actually. But so, well,
Oh,
I work with Swedish dialects. I'm like
okay.
so yeah. So all of my colleagues, most of them are PhDs in like Nordic languages, Swedish and stuff. And so it's really, really that type of environment, like academic environment. I'm not. I started out as a high school teacher. Was that upper secondary school in Swedish and Spanish?
Oh, cool.
I have that teacher background. So I
Brilliant.
remember
Do you speak Spanish?
yeah, but don't
Oh,
try
cool.
it with me now because I'm not using it. But yes, ¿cómo
Yeah,
estás? Muy bien,
yeah,
gracias. Yeah, but yeah, because I remember the first time I had a session with Tim back in 2017, and he asked me like, "What do you do? Like, what do you do for a living? What's your background?" And I said, "Teacher," and he's like, "Oh." And I thought, why is he reacting so strongly to that? Because he could feel that during that first conversation that I would be teaching
yeah,
about something very differently.
yeah. And I
I,
mean, you've got that, and that's the thing. A lot of stuff I've been good at and I'm doing, like the DJing, for example, it's all pulling through into something else, like the photography, for example, capturing the moments and showing it to the other people that might necessarily not want to go to an event like that because it might be a bit weird, but I try and make it nice and colourful and nice, people's smiley faces. And you being a teacher, actually, that's great because you can stand up in front of people and you're seasoned to do that. And I like the fact that you work alongside Tim, you work together rather than just this speaker's here. They're going like it's like a flipping conference, Now this one's coming on, and it's nice to
I
actually
know.
have that duality
I
or
know, I love that. So that's how
trilogy
it
with
kind of
Anna.
grew with when we were doing the YouTube series. Is
Yeah,
when we really had
yeah,
the first videos that we did in the Ascension 101 series. And then doing the same thing in our workshops online. And then we were going to do the first in-person workshop was here in Sweden in May that Tim and I did. So we didn't know how that was going to work. So Tim's original plan was to do like he usually does it. So you do
yeah,
that, I do that. And I said to him, I think we're going to do like what we do best, which is doing it together. Like just like you said now. And
yeah.
that's
Good.
at least for us, that's how it's really flows well.
Oh,
It's so
cool.
when it comes really easy like that and flows in between two people. That's how I love to work.
When the microphones are working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've spent 850 quid in a new set that's got all the singing and dancing things to cut out frequency stuff problems. So we're all sorted now.
You're gonna have to talk to all the crystals at the next event. Tell them
Yeah, I
to be.
might do. Yeah, I might do that as well. I'll introduce the microphone set to each
Do
one,
it.
and then they'll be friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, lovely talking to you. I think you've given, out of all of the things we've been talking about, as usual, I don't plan much. You've given a lot of advice to people that are feeling confused or unsure of where they're going with spirituality or just life in general. So it's really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful, what day is it?
It's
Sunday,
Sunday.
isn't it? Have
Yeah.
a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Toby.
Thanks,
And
Lovisa.
bye.
Bye.
No,